This edition of Carolina Business Review was recorded October 17, 2008. On this week's panel, Doreen Sullivan of Post No Bills, Inc. and Otis Rawl of the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. This week's special guest, Howard Levine, Chairman and CEO of Family Dollar Stores, Inc. Now, Chris William.
Hello and welcome again to our program. Doreen, Otis, good to have you guys here and welcome.
Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Otis, I'm going to start with you. You know, we've been hearing terms like unprecedented change, historic, epic, terms used to describe what's not going on in Wall Street, but rather what's going on economically here. Would you call this an unprecedented change? Is this different than anything we've seen in modern history?
Well, I don't think so. I think particularly for the Carolinas that not too long ago, we had a slowdown and recession that went pretty deep. If you go back to the early 1990s and even as late as the early 2000s, we've had some pretty significant slowdowns, and we've come out of it even stronger. I think what business has to do is look at these down times for opportunities to make improvements in their processes, looking to improve their core competencies, and come at it as a stronger business entity. I think the real issue that we've really got to look at is how business survives and how we continue to compete in the global marketplace. And I think it's incumbent for the different business entities in both the Carolinas to really look and see how we can position our states to compete in a global marketplace. And we can do that in a number of ways. We can look at it from a workforce development issue, uplifting our people to make them a little bit smarter and technology-based companies to address the whole knowledge-based economy. I think we got to look at tax policy issues as we move forward. And I think really we got to look at how business normally operates and change the way we do business to some aspect.
After November, clearly, we're going to have a different political landscape. Don't know how that's going to look, but will this election, is this going to change the way you yourself was certainly in public policy and setting public policy, but you were really on the front lines for a long time. Is this going to change the way that organizations like the South Carolina Chamber have to go after the elected political body now? Do we expect to have a more liberal audience sitting in those seats in Columbia?
Well, that's what's unique about South Carolina. As we travel the country and talk to other CEOs at other state chambers, South Carolina is really unique in that aspect that our leadership in our General Assembly, our body of membership doesn't change a whole lot. And if you look at what's anticipated happening in the election process in South Carolina, I think you could have the same number of Republicans in the House of Representatives. I think basically the same number of Republicans, may grow one or two in the Senate, but it's not the dynamics are not going to change a whole lot. I think if you look at the election process in South Carolina's got more conservative than more moving to the left. And most people would think with this election coming up that you're talking about change and change of direction. I don't think South Carolina will change direction simply because we became more conservative. Every political race where there was an open slot, who won that slot was more conservative than the person that was in that slot previously. And if there was a contested slot, the more conservative person won. So South Carolina is going to be a unique animal in regards to the political landscape. And I think we don't change a whole lot. I think South Carolina stays the course. I think our General Assembly will still look at tax cuts as being something that's favorable, growing jobs, looking at economic development, and just really taking a real close look at our economy and how we can spur that economy on.